You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good morning. My name is Joan Kestner, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation, Monday, June 23rd, 2023. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our board members. To my right, Sam Capitano, Leslie Zemsky, representing our county executive is Dan Castle, Eric Wright, Brian Whitman, and our president, Mark Wendell. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Debbie Russ for all her work helping us put this meeting together, and all the staff members that make it all possible for us. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. We welcome public comment on today's agenda. I will note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 5 p.m. on Friday. I'd like to state for the record that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items. I will also note that we do not have members of the public attending today's meeting. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has a potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the agenda items. If so, I would ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you recuse yourself from any discussion or vote regarding such item. Anyone? Hearing none, our first order of business is the appropriate approval of the meetings of the director meeting May 19th, 2025. Approval of the meetings?
I'll make the motion.
Any questions? Any answers, additions? All right, Sam moved. Second?
Second.
Leslie? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Now I'd like to call on Mark Wendell, ECHD's president, to present the remaining two items on today's agenda. Please start off with the authorization for the corporation to enter into a lease agreement for tenant office space in the Gateway building. Mark, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Kestner. As many of you know, we have constructed a building at Canal side titled the Gateway building. And we had allocated a small retail space on the first floor, about 839 square feet, to be not only just to handle retail, but also be a connection to the guests. And we've been in communication with Visit Buffalo Niagara to be the tenant in that space. We think it's a wonderful opportunity to have that location not only be, I guess, a retail component, but also have guest services there for those using Canal side as their first destination to Buffalo, and then being able to be oriented by the guest services people to what is around this area, as well as what else is offering to them in Buffalo. The term would be a 5-year term with an option to renew. There is a review period after 2 years to see how things are going with the services that are being offered in that space. I will say that, we think it's a great opportunity, as I mentioned, for Visit Buffalo Niagara to be, they are our visitor bureau. They are the people that are looking to bring in tourists and looking to help those travel around the city of Buffalo. So having them be able to be a mainstay through the week at our location is great. We are offering their rent at below market rates. It is below in line with what they currently paid at their other retail location. Again, we feel that this fits the mission of Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation to have guest services, Visit Buffalo Niagara, to be present where we have destinations going. This does follow the public authorities law as it meets the mission that we're trying to establish as a public authority to offer services that fit within our destination and neighborhood establishment. There are no MWBE or VOB participation goals, as this is a lease agreement that they would be paying towards us and not us paying towards them. So the first rent, I say that it would start off at $600 per month and then increase every year by $100 as we move forward throughout the term agreement. They will be paying some utilities. When I say some, because there's no water in there, they're not going to be paying water, but they will be paying like internet Wi-Fi in there. And we have fitted out the space for them, so they are going to be ready to go, and we'll have an agreement for hopefully they have them in there this summer to start receiving our guests, especially with the bicentennial going on there. So for this request, and we put forth the authorization to the corporation to enter into a lease agreement with the Buffalo Niagara Convention Visitors Bureau and its related actions.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any questions or comments from the directors? Yes.
Just a couple quick questions. This summer, so they could move in before the lease starts?
We can work on a limited access agreement.
Oh.
We could have them occupy the space, and then we'll work with legal. So let's hope that we can come to terms and have them move in there. The space is still being completed, so we're hoping to have some access in that space.
And then do you have to build out for them, or they're going to take care of that?
It is part of the design process, so it's been painted. It's very minimal. There are things that they have to bring in for especially the setting up a kiosk or here or there. But we will be like there's floor finish paint and a main desk for them to set up.
And then are there public restrooms in there that they'll?
There are public restrooms in the
They'll be open
there'll be
to?
public restrooms on the first floor and the basement level of this building.
Great.
And they're open to the public?
Yeah.
Public restrooms.
Just for disclosures, I don't think this comes to a point of any kind of conflict, but I do represent Erie County on the VBN board, like I do here. So I've not been involved in these discussions, and I've not been involved in the Visit Buffalo Niagara side either. So I'm assuming, I just want to mention that for full disclosure.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Mark. Are any further questions? Obviously not. As noted earlier, we will not have any comments from the public with regard to the item. I will now entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Mark, please continue and present the final item on today's agenda, a request for authorization to enter into a contract for design services for the Buffalo Cruise Terminal Improvements Project. This is exciting. Can you tell by the title? I love it. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This is an exciting endeavor. As many of you know, previously we had a cruise study done to see the marketability and what would it be like to have a cruise terminal here for Great Lakes cruising in Buffalo. And we've had some continuous conversation with various cruise lines, and there's a lot of excitement about Buffalo becoming a terminal and being part of their itinerary in the future. So with that, on April 7th, 2025 of this year, we issued a request for proposal to solicit design consultant proposals for this endeavor. We received 3 proposals. One was led by the local firm Azar Design, formerly Floyd Albert. Second team was led by Lyro Hill, their local Buffalo office. And the third team was led by architectural firm Ross Barney out of Chicago, Illinois. And each firm was interviewed by our selection committee. And we went through, and in the end, after the interviews took place in July of this year, May of this year, we are recommending Lyro be the design team that is hired to do this complete. They had assembled a wonderful team. All teams were great, but Lyro's team had a lot of great experience. Lyro has been here in Buffalo for a number of years and also have worked with ECACC, so there's familiarity there. They have brought on McLaren Engineering, which is out of New York City, which is a very good marine engineering. They also have Bermelo Jamal Partners, which design terminals. They're out of New York City. They design terminals across the world, and are also very familiar with Customs and Border Patrol. That was very important. They are very familiar with the requirements of Customs, Border Patrol, Customs. Our local office is very familiar with that firm as well. We've also have on the team Chango Bryan Architects out of Ithaca, Chuten Trowbridge Landscape Architects out of Ithaca, Atlantic Testing out of Buffalo, Robbie Engineering out of Buffalo, and Patriot Design Group out of Rochester. So it was a very New York State focus group, and a lot of these firms have experience with both ECACC and the Customs and Border Patrol office. And so we felt their qualifications were really stood out to the team. So the scope of work that they will begin is that they will start analyzing the site. They will start working with the program. They will meet with Customs and Border Patrol as well as ECACC and other stakeholders that will be part of this terminal operations. They will do a full site review. They will work from schematic design, and this contract will go through all the way to end of construction administration. So we'll have the same design team that is designing this work that will help oversee construction of this work as we move forward. They will also be helping us with any kind of permitting processing as we go through the city of Buffalo, Army Corps, DEC, because we're on a water edge location. The contract amount, they submitted a base fee of $1,499,747.42. And then we are adding a contingency of $149,975, which brings the total contract amount to $1,649,722.42. This contract will begin July 2025 and expected to be completed by July 31st, 2027. The funding for this project is from the New York Power Authority Industrial Incentive Award. Pursuant to the ESD's non-discrimination and contract supplier diversity, there are MWBE and SDVOB goals. The MWBE participation goal is 30% total, and the SDVOB participation goal is 6%. And the team I listed to you before, their consultants, each they do have MWBE, MBE, WBE, and SDVOB participation. For the environmental review, ESD staff has determined that the authorization, which involves entering into a contract for design that does not formally commit the corporation to implementing a specific project, constitutes a type 2 action as defined by the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and implementing regulations for the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. No further environmental review is required in connection with the authorization to enter into the design contract. So at this time, I'm putting forth the authorization for the corporation to enter into design contract with Lyro Engineering Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $1,649,722.42, which includes their base fee of $1,499,747.42 and a contingency of $149,975.
Gotta wipe the smile off my face, but I'm so excited about this project. That is exciting. It's a game changer for our waterfront. And I think sooner or later, you're gonna see these cruise ships right on Lake Erie. And the citizens will be very excited, as excited as I am. But thank you, Mark. Are there any questions or comments from our directors regarding this?
Seeker would have to be done at some point, correct?
Yes. It was about a team.
Later, at some point, is 2 years, is that part of the scope or is that?
It is part of the scope of work.
Okay.
It is part of the earlier part of scope that will be done and completed and updated. But at this time, to enter into design contract, we don't have to make any modifications.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
The construction is slated to begin.
We're hoping to start in 2026. we're hoping to, work on through some things and really be open. And have the customs building, it's really about the customs building being ready to receive any kind of cruise ship from Toronto or any other, or Port Colborne as they come from Lake Ontario into Lake Erie.
Just a great opportunity to showcase our Western New York again.
Standing.
It really is. As noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public regard to this item. I will now entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Proudly.
All right.
Proudly so moved.
Sam, I'm so excited. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Now, there being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting if there's no other motion, comments?
Proudly.
Sam wants to get outside. That's it too, yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we're still on, we have a board meeting in 2 weeks or
We have one in July.
July?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so.